Okay, man. Long time no speak to. It's that guy, man. It's blue as it gets. It's a brand new season. Last preseason game of the season has been played, or whatever you want to call it. The preseason, all the stuff. So many seasons, so many seasons. But this season looks to be like it might be a brand new season for us, and it's got the vibes in the locker room and outside the locker room amongst the fan base. Uh, I'm pretty high ground right now, man, and it's good to see. It's good to finally get through that cloud that we were in, or at least you can't say we got through it yet. We still got to play these games in the season, but things are looking much better as far as going through the preseason and the type of play we've been seeing and stuff like that, and putting up points, beating teams. Just got done whipping on the Patriots. That was definitely a great thing to see. And yeah, I mean, I think there's not much to say about with the preseason. A lot of us been paying attention to it. Jackson Dart, Russ Wilson, Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito got off in the last game here with 3 touchdowns. So, but all throughout the preseason, defense has been playing well or playing, coming into its own, whatever you want to say. But as far as the offense, it's really been on a really good pace, and it's really promising to see as we go into the new year here. Um, what's matter doesn't really matter which quarterback comes out starter. We understand that Russ is going to be the starter right now, but it's good to see that the locker room itself, the QB room especially, has probably the best talent that we've had since Eli. You know, all together. Period. Okay. We're past the quarterback era, Daniel Jones era, but we still got you know, it's not all him. Okay, that's the little bit we'll say about that for him in that regard. But like everything else, we're moving on from that. So I don't know what people could really say in comparison to what we've seen is just in the preseason here and our other preseasons, how the offense was. And then, those offenses in the preseason and in the season, we were scoring like 18 points a game. We should definitely see something different. Shouldn't be 18 points a game. Um, should be, significantly more, at least a 5 to 6 point difference, in my opinion, to what we were scoring a game. And that's at the least. So, we'll see though. You can never tell the games. Like I said, we got to be played, man. But right now, the team and everything else about it is looking promising. We're going to say the word promising. It's like wow. All right. Um. Yeah. What else? I haven't even been trying to keep too much on our upcoming games. We'll get more into it as the season goes on here. This is, the first cut that I've had in a while. And anybody's actually catching this, appreciate y'all for catching this. You know, my scheduling around this, like I say, I do these when I feel like it. And off season, I don't really talk too much about every minute move that the team will make. I do some draft stuff and look at the draft, of course. And but as far as when the camps come up and they're figuring stuff out. You let them figure it out. But when we see these preseason games and as the season goes on, we'll get more and more in depth on the things that are happening, of course. Yeah. Wow, man. It's great, right? I know, some of the past cuts, man, people might have seen these and they understand how my opinion was about the QB play. But like I say one more time, man, it's good to see that the things are looking better. And I'm not really sure how one could you know, see the previous year's stuff, man, and not see that even now that there are just stark improvements and way more potential coming out of the QB room in general. I mean, there's 4 of them now, right? But either one of them 4 was probably better than what we were getting last year in total, what was actually the starting situation. But the top 3 now are probably most definitely, well, 2 of them most definitely, and we won a strong chance. Um, are better than what we had going on. So win losses is going to be a thing and whatnot, but we'll get there when we get there, and we'll see, man. I think it's not so much about the win losses as far as the fan bases, right? We're going to see some more entertaining football, of course, in my opinion. But when it comes down to the wins, losses, and if those team is not looking like it should be looking, especially coming out of the preseason, even on the defensive side now too, because this, as much as we speak about the offense's production in the preseason, the defensive side is where really we should see most of our returns because they are fully loaded. Well, I say they're loaded when it comes down to like the front seven and our linebacking group right now is really turning over with even somebody like Micah McFadden, who's been a few years now with the team. Um, it's starting to be placed in a more primary role in some aspects. But we have like Carter coming in, man, and he's prime. Kayvon's trying to really come in. He's bulked up a little bit, but now he's trying to use that size and a lot of his experience from the previous seasons to really establish himself, right? And come in, and now the team itself is a total package. Thinking about back in NASCAR with Tuck and Espinola and Strahan, of course, and guys like Keith Hamilton and whatnot. We have Sexy Dexy now, everything going on, and Alexander, Darius Alexander, we just brought in on the draft. He was a third round pick, fourth round pick, third round pick. But guys like him who are youthful and show some promise, hopefully, even if they're not showing everything right now, because a lot of them are, some of them are going to be more developmental with their time with the team, like somebody like Micah McFadden, maybe. When we look at somebody like Darius Alexander or Darius Masal, our linebacker that we got last season, like in the fourth round, maybe, fifth round, maybe. But we'll see, man. And Jalen Hylett, man, had a couple of in this last game. We'll say just talk about right quick. Had a couple of drops, but uh, we had Dart out there doing his thing, man. He's been looking promising, but the QB protecting himself has always been kind of an issue with the team. So even with Dart coming in, man, you still have to emphasize like, yo, slide when it's time to slide, and they've all kind of mentioned that to him after he came out of 10. The blue 10, of course. And so, yeah, QB sliding, man. Something we've always emphasized, but we'll continue to emphasize if it's got to be a thing, man. Um, what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, Jalen Hyatt caught a touchdown pass, man. People would doubt him, man. And yeah, for me, a lot of these skill position players, man, they've been kind of in a iffy situation as far as what they'd be getting out of the QB position. But now that we have more of a solid foundation there, we get a more promising outlook, especially somebody like Neighbors coming in, or Theo Johnson, the tight end that we grabbed last year, or a few of the free agents that we picked up, like Fadone or Deluch, who's not bad. He was in Denver. You haven't seen him before. He was in Denver, I believe, for a short while. And he had a decent counterpart at tight end while he was there with Deluch. So he's a guy. He's going to make some plays and stuff like that. So we'll see how this all comes together, because the whole team, it's always been a thing, especially on offense. But now the QB play, hopefully, is much improved. Guys like the Jalen Hyatts or the Wandale Robinsons, even, or Darius Slayton, who's always been with us for a while, but who's now a more mature player, even from where he was already. But he's been given another contract, and he's further years with him. But his first real true year without the same QB situation that he's always had while he's here. So this is a time where, those type of receivers, when you can play with multiple QBs and put up some decent numbers, make a name for themselves. So it's still room for even that, as we look forward to exciting things that can happen on the offense. And like I said, the defense is so, coming together with so much talent right now that they should really start showing more. Of course, the secondary is still kind of figuring out, and maybe the quarterback, cornerback spots, but another year to address that, maybe, depending how these things go, because there's no promises that the people who are here who even put this together as right now looking pretty nice are going to be the ones, having a much say about it. And next season, if things don't look great, man. So, we take the promising plays. So we should have expectation. Now, we spoke about this last season about it being okay to have expectations. You're not being wrong for having expectations. there ain't nothing changed. Okay, so we should still have expectations for the team to come out week one and not be anything about a 0-40 Cowboys blowout, to not be anything about a Minnesota can't beat the Minnesota Vikings after you just beat the Minnesota Vikings type situation, or anything else before them 2 seasons before, man. Like, for real. Um, yeah. And win or lose, it's more about it not being what it was. But if we averaged 18 points a game, guys, and we were scrapping with some trash ass games, but as like comparison last season or whatever season playing the Patriots, with Tommy DeVito out there and the score being what it was being, and this preseason game now, of course, you know, it's looking a lot better. Because even in them preseason games and other years, we weren't really scoring too much too often. Yeah, yeah, man. So we take it easy like that. We're not going to speak too much on the coaching. Dayball looks rejuvenated as far as what he can do in his offense, and play calling and hopefully execution of the play calls. He looks rejuvenated there. And if that is promising, then that bodes better for Joe Shane, because if the team's bad and playing bad, then we can't be just hearing about firing somebody like Brian Dayball without looking at Joe Shane for handicapping Brian Dayball with the situation that he was handicapped with, especially if the QBs are playing up. It's not something that we just forget about just because it's resolved and the most finally resolved with the guy being not on the team and shit. Wow. Yeah, man, that's about it, I think. Spoils, blues it gets. Just getting back into the season. Never far away watching, of course, New York Giants, man. It's like, what we're gonna do. Can't just find another team. Nah, that's not what we do around here. We can find another quarterback though, and they finally did that. Wow. All right, y'all. Hope y'all been good. And, whatever else, man. The routine, I guess I have to say. Like, subscribe. If not, whatever. Thanks for checking it out. And yeah, catch y'all. Probably soon enough because the season's kicking off in like 2 weeks. So we gotta really nail down what the starting lineup is gonna be. Get the final 53. What's really really going on, and see who's really making a team, and if they make any potential trades. I feel like with the way the vibe is right now, you want to carry as much of that into the season as you can as far as personnel, and of course the roster's got to be cut down in size, but your primary players, or even those who might be kind of on a bubble but have some experience, um, might be guys you might end up keeping, for a few weeks into the season and then give an opportunity to see what they do. All right, man. Peace out.